The moment I crossed that line, there would be no way back. My husband left for another late meeting with a cologne I never bought and a tie he reserves for photo ops. The house smelled like citrus cleaner and lies. Our kitchen island, the stage for 1,000 polite dinners, became the place I set my rules. No tears, no bargaining, no pretending I didn't notice the lipstick on his coffee lid. The invite to the charity after-party blinked on my phone like a dare. I wore the red dress with sleeves. 40 taught me that coverage can be more provocative than exposure, and a pair of heels that turned hallways into runways. I told myself I was going to watch, not act. That lie was sweeter than his. The lounge was a hush of ice clinks and low laughter, the kind of room where secrets tiptoe in stilettos. He noticed me before I noticed him. Tailored, composed, dangerous in the quiet way. "You're Michael's wife," he said, voice even as a held breath. "Michael." He said the name like he owned it. I smiled without showing teeth. "Depends who's asking." "Ethan Cole," he said. "We've worked together." His paws folded like an envelope. I pictured emails with midnight timestamps. I pictured my husband's phone face down at dinner. He offered me sparkling water with a wedge of lime, as if he knew I'd be the only one tracking my choices tonight. The room dimmed another notch. Our conversation didn't flirt, it fenced. Each remark a measured step, each silence a testing of ground. My pulse quickened, not because he was beautiful, though he was, but because he felt like the last door before the roof. "You're not here for the auction," he said, "and you're not here for the music." The band had been replaced by a playlist that made promises it couldn't keep. He studied the ring on my hand. "What are you here for, then?" "Justice. Proof. A mirror." I wanted all of it and none of it, and the want itself made me brave. "One night without pretending," I said. "One night only." His eyes didn't widen. They narrowed, as if he saw the cost printed small in the corner. "Careful," he said. "One night is rarely only one night." The decision came on a tide I couldn't stop. We moved toward the private elevator at the end of the corridor, where the camera bubble held a polite red that meant "please behave." Ethan pressed the button. I pressed my tongue to the back of my teeth and tasted every time I had forgiven too quickly. "Are you sure?" he asked when the doors opened, voice low, precise. "Yes," I said, and my voice didn't shake. Inside, the world shrank to chrome walls and our reflections. Two people who looked like they knew better. The doors slid shut, sealing our pact. Our closeness deepened in the way that changes air pressure. We didn't touch. We didn't have to. The promise between us did the touching. The elevator stopped between floors with a soft jolt. Planned or lucky, I didn't ask. "Technical pause," Ethan said deadpan. His hand hovered near the emergency panel and then dropped, like a thought he didn't need. When the doors finally parted onto the quiet hallway of upper suites, I heard my heart in my ears. We walked past framed photographs of the city, the kind taken from angles that make everyone feel important. He opened a door with a key that didn't look borrowed. "One night," I reminded him, stepping in. "I heard you." He closed the door gently, as if the hinges were listening. And then a sound cut through the hush. A phone vibrating on the console table, message lighting the screen with a familiar contact name. "Michael, where are you?" "Board dinner ran late. Home soon." Ethan's gaze flicked to the name, then to me. "Calm. Knowing." "Like I said," he murmured, "we've worked together." The room held its breath. So did I, because my revenge had just discovered a face, the man who knew my husband too well, and my husband's message still glowing in the dark. His voice alone was enough to ruin my carefully built life. "Answer him," Ethan said, not unkindly. or don't. Either choice is a story you'll have to live with. I typed need air. Don't wait and hit send. Honesty weaponized. The phone went dark. My reflection in the window looked taller than I felt. You and Michael, I began. How close? Close enough to know his calendar and his loopholes. He took off his jacket and hung it with the care of a surgeon. Not close enough to admire them. I should have walked out. Instead, I sat on the arm of the sofa, one heel anchored, one foot dangling like a question mark. Why help me burn what also burns you? Maybe I like fires that reveal the blueprint under the paint, he said. Maybe I don't like being used. The word used caught and tugged something stubborn in me. I had been the one who managed schedules, intervals between forgiveness, the choreography of pretending. Tonight, I would manage something else. The angle of my spine, the rules of the game. Rule number 1, no lies. Rule number 2, no promises beyond sunrise. Rule number 3, if either of us says stop, the night ends. No questions. Ethan read them in my face as if I'd spoken aloud. Agreed, he said. Our closeness deepened. Conversation first. Maps of our lives sketched with blunt pencils. We traded confessions the way adults barter, carefully with receipts. He told me Michael liked to swear loyalty in rooms with bad lighting. I told him I had stopped recognizing my own laughter when I heard it on other women's lips. The first boundary test arrived disguised as a laugh. He reached for my wrist, paused a breath away. I nodded once. His fingers were warm, steady, like a signature written slowly. My pulse quickened, not for spectacle, but for relief. Clear yes, clear line, clear control. Your rules work, he said. You keep them for yourself, not to impress me. That's the point. Midnight slouched into the room. We stayed upright. Our closeness deepened again. An intimacy of undone armor, not undone clothing. Every time it risked tipping into old habits, I moved, stood, poured water. He stepped back, reset the air. The tension wasn't a cliff. It was a narrow bridge, and we crossed carefully. Then the second phone chimed. Not mine, not his. A message flashed across the TV screen from a hidden casting device, an accident somewhere in the hotel settings. Michael! Cole, I need an answer. You in or out? The name thudded against the glass between us. You're his what? I asked. Fixer? Partner? Consultant, Ethan said. He asked me to shield a contract that shouldn't be shielded. He lifted the remote. The message blinked away. If I say in, a few people get richer. If I say out, he panics. And if you say out because of me, then you're not revenge. You're a reason. The floor beneath us felt suddenly precise. My rules weren't just about tonight. They were about tomorrow's mirror. Say out for you, I said. Or don't say it at all. He smiled, brief and real. There it is, the line you won't cross. We stood so close the city blurred. Our closeness deepened one careful notch, the kind that hums in bone. And right then the suite's door handle jolted. A cautious press, then a deliberate rattle. Housekeeping. A voice tried at 1 a.m. Ethan's eyes cut to the peephole, his body tilting to shield me without touching. The handle eased. Silence resumed, but the night had a new contour watched. My phone lit again, this time a photo of my driveway. Michael, I'm home. Where are you? A second attachment followed. The kitchen camera feed, he had finally checked it. Empty island, empty chairs, a lemon in the fruit bowl like a bright lie. Ethan flicked off the lamps. Darkness gathered, soft and absolute. Your move, he said. The secret I carried could destroy us both, but I couldn't stop. I texted back, out. I'm out tonight. No apologies, no breadcrumb. I imagined him pacing, opening cabinets, as if answers might be shelved between spices. I imagined the moment he'd search for proof and find the absence of me louder than any scene. Do you want to end this now? Ethan asked. No pressure, just a door held open. No, I said, and felt the truth align my spine. But I want to end what made this necessary. He nodded like a man who understands sabotage and repair. Then decide what tomorrow looks like and act as if it's already here. Crisis arrived with the precision of an email timestamp. My sister, the one who tells the truth like it's a vitamin, texted. He called me. He's scared. Are you safe? I answered, yes. I am also done. She replied with a heart and a hammer. Ethan picked up his jacket but didn't put on. I'm sending my answer, he said and typed out. The words sat on his screen like a refusal and a promise. He hit send. A part of the city went slightly darker and slightly cleaner. We stood at the window, two silhouettes herding our consequences into morning. Our closeness deepened once more. No fireworks, just gravity finding its level. He brushed a stray hair behind my ear. I let him. He asked nothing I didn't offer. I offered nothing I couldn't live with. Will you tell him? He asked. I'll tell him I left the performance, I said. And I'm not coming back for the encore. What about us? His tone made us sound like a coat you try on in good lighting. One night only, I reminded him, and felt it cost me something I could afford, but not a secret. Secrets rot. We left together because walking alone down that corridor would have felt like staging. At the elevator, he pressed the button and looked at me the way you look at a horizon, grateful, unwilling. The doors slid open. Inside, our reflections looked the same and not at all. Thank you, I said. For what? For treating my rules like a map, not a maze. He gave a short, almost private laugh. You drew them like a compass. The lobby's quiet was bruised by early news on a muted screen. Contracts, resignations, a ticker mouthing rumors. The world rearranged itself as it always does. Outside, the air smelled like cold metal and bakery sugar. At home, the kitchen lights were on. Michael sat at the island, turning his ring. He looked up with eyes that asked for a script I refused to hand him. I know where you were, he said. I know where you've been, I answered. For months. He opened his mouth. I raised a hand. Don't confess to win me back. Don't deny to make me small. I'm not here for either. What are you here for? An ending that respects what we once built, I said, and a beginning that doesn't require pretending. He swallowed. Is there someone else? There was someone tonight, I said, clean as a cut line. There won't be tomorrow, but there also won't be us, not like this. Silence pooled. The lemon on the counter glowed, unnecessary and perfect. He nodded, slow and stunned, like a man hearing his real name for the first time. I'll call a lawyer. I'll call a locksmith, I said, and then softened. For the email passwords, not the doors. We divided the immediate future into lists. Who tells the neighbors, who cancels the trip, who keeps the dog on Wednesdays. It was almost gentle. We were almost decent. Later, alone in the bedroom, I folded the red dress and slid it into the drawer like a certificate I didn't need to hang. My phone buzzed once. An unsaved number. Ethan. Doors open if you need water or quiet. No questions. I typed, erased, typed again. Thank you. Not tonight. I added after a breath, "Keep saying out." "Always," he wrote. I lay down and stared at the ceiling, where the late light traced a clean, thin cross. I had wanted revenge and found a boundary. I had wanted a man to witness me and found myself naming my own rules out loud. Morning would be paperwork and calls, casseroles from neighbors who love a story. Tonight, I let the truth do what it does best, not fix, clarify. I closed my eyes, knowing the line I crossed wasn't a fall, it was a bridge. And underneath it, the water finally sounded like my own name.